Live and in living color. Here it is. It's the Two Legs Live Edition. We're back for another fun album rankings. How y'all doing? Tom Onyati here. Andy Nichols. Andy, what's going on?
Good evening. Didn't I just see you a few hours ago?
Just a couple hours ago, we recorded a new episode finally after a little bit more than a month off. So that was great to get back into the swing of things. So this Saturday we'll have a brand new episode out there on the YouTube and all the audio outlets as well. So it's glad to see you, everybody. I'm just glad to see so many people here already. You know, Oliver, Matthew, Knock Knock, Serge. Good to see you guys. And we're going to get back into doing a countdown here in a second, but we're just going to give it another minute here and see who else joins. But
doing 20 through 11 tonight, right?
20 through 11, absolutely.
Now the cream starts to get a little bit. You're going to see some heavy hitters now, probably.
Right. Well, Matthew, Back to the Egg doesn't count because that's Beatles related, my friend.
Beatles related. Got to go.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. No, we're kidding.
Yes, joke. Anyways,
but I tell you, this if you could have just picked like other albums by multiple, like by a couple albums by one artist, you could do this easy. But to do one album per artist makes it challenging.
It just stretches your your musical taste a little bit more, really, in my opinion. I got a couple whatchamacallit, the thing in front of the windows here are kind of
your blinds?
Yeah, blinds. Yeah, the blinds. Thank you.
You got a little vertical man thing going on there?
Yeah, I got a little vertical thing. I'm trying to avoid the lights.
Just mess with them. Mess with them.
I'm not messing with them. I don't care.
I don't. Anyways, you look nice to me, partner.
Yes, thank you so much. Anyways, so you ordered that special deluxe edition press to play 35th anniversary piece, right?
Yeah, I did. I ordered that the other day and saw that promoted well on the website, and a lot of good new interviews in there with John Pertoker and of course Hugh Padgham. So who doesn't speak a whole lot? So really interested in seeing what they say about that, and curious why just a 35th anniversary they're going to roll that out. I was curious on timing with that.
Yeah, I mean, if both parties were available to talk about it, then I guess might as well take advantage of it. You know,
you think McCartney's people kind of sign off on any of that stuff, or it's all done independently of them?
No, I think it's done independently. I would hope that this would
spark a little,
80s love here soon for the archive sets for to finish press to play to do a press to play one and to do a Broad Street one. How you doing, Tom? Good to see you.
Indeed, Buddy Holly would have been 85 today. That's right.
Wow.
And also the anniversary of sadly Keith Moon's passing on 1978, which was he was at Buddy Holly week as well that same night. So yeah, 1978, and also Buddy Holly, his birthday. So. Strange coincidences, but yeah,
strange indeed. But
yeah, you'd hope that this sparks a little 80s revival, and they knock out. Well, listen, let's get the 70s done first. Let's get London.
Yeah, let's one thing at a time. Let's hope that we get the Back to the Egg and London Town sets out here early next year.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see how Camp Beatles does they plan their whole year out in terms of what's coming out.
Right. Well, thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. And it's not even about the Beatles or McCartney, which is funny.
Right. Exactly. This is going to be fun. Okay. I started last week. Andy, you're starting this week. So
okay, no time like the present. 5 after 7 here on the East Coast. Let's start. So number 20, right?
20, exactly.
Number 20. Number 20, I'm going with the early heavy hitter by Pink Floyd. Metal.
Oh, you're going Metal. Okay.
I'm going with Metal.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going. I was thinking about going with Animals, maybe The Wall, but as a true progger at heart, I got to go with Metal. One of These Days, which opens up this album, tremendous. And then just side 2, all of Echoes, which is just a tremendous song at 22 minutes. And look at that, even on the original Harvest label too. See, I'm not like my partner here who's got to go with the new of everything. But if anybody, I know if Ethan's watching, he's Mr. Original Pressing, and
right.
Yeah, Saint-Tropez, Fearless, The Purple of Winds.
Saint-Tropez and Fearless are both excellent
songs. Oliver said Floyd got the #1 spot. Yeah, this one, and Echoes. I mean, you just throw this on, and it's again early. This was 71, I want to say, very still early Floyd. But I didn't come till later in life. I didn't really become a Floyd fan until I was in my probably late 20s. So,
right.
And I don't. You're a big Floyd guy, right? Pretty much.
I like a lot of Floyd. I mean, I have everything up to the wall.
Right.
After that, I mean, it's hit or miss.
Hit or miss. Yeah.
Yeah. But fan of metal, absolutely. Obscured by Clouds, I like a little bit more. But yeah, metal is fantastic.
Yeah. And they weren't so adventurous in terms of their lengths of songs after this one. Right. This was full on 23 minutes. It's just a great song. Well, yeah, there'll be a little bit more of that as we get through the series.
Oh, yeah. I've actually got an album here that has a whole song on one side as well.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So yeah, they're recapping a 20 good old metal by Pink Floyd for me.
Yeah, this week is strange because all of my albums here. I had a lot of albums that were #1 last week. This week, not so much. So we got no #1s at all. No albums at #1 at all. Which I kind of like that a lot because all of these albums, I mean, for the most part, are considered good stuff. In my 20, it has a little bit of a story here. I'm a big movie buff. I became a movie buff thanks to one movie, and that movie was Taxi Driver. I discovered that very early in the early 90s, and I've probably seen that movie 50 times. Okay, so there's an album that plays a small part in the album. I mean, in the movies, in the movies. Thank you. So, and then by probably like the 40th time I've seen the movie, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should check that out. Maybe I should check this album out. And I finally did, and I'm really glad I did. So this was probably about I would say about 2010. I finally ended up buying this record and checking it out. And this is Kris Kristofferson's The Silver-Tongued Devil and I. Okay, this is I know the lighting is not that great, but this is his second album after his critically acclaimed first album. So there's some excellent. I mean, everybody knows Kris Kristofferson. He wrote Me and Bobby McGee. So many other great songs out there. But not a lot of people know him for his stuff.
No,
but his second album, The Silver-Tongued Devil and I think is just right up there with some of the greats of country album. I mean, he's considered country. But you can't really categorize him. Kind of like a Leonard Cohen. You really can't categorize
as genre. You can't give him the one genre.
Right, exactly, because so for that case, I mean, he's probably not as successful as he could have been if they were able to like pin him down into one category. But Kris Kristofferson, he's one of the best lyricists out there. In my opinion, he's got some great. He's not known for his vocals, but he's fine as a vocalist, in my opinion.
What year on that album?
This is the 1971, July of 71. This came out. This was a number 21 on the Billboards and number 4 on the country album charts. So, but the big song on here is "Loving Her Was Easier Than Anything I've Ever Done." A lot of other country acts have covered this song, including Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson. But other songs on here is "The Taker," "The Silver-Tongued Devil and I," "When I Loved Her," "The Pilgrim," Chapter 33. So a bunch of really cool, just lyrically great songs. So
good
he's almost kind of
great songwriter. Great songwriter. Started actually as a janitor in Nashville.
Right, correct.
During the Blonde on Blonde session.
Yeah.
Crazy about how that was, right?
Right. Exactly. But that's my 20. Kris Kristofferson's The Silver-Tongued Devil and I.
Silver-Tongued Devil and I. And then that looks like an original copy, though.
Yeah, that one is because it hasn't been reissued, so I've had to find the best looking copy
of
of
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting question, Tony. We talked about that. Tom said, "Do what you want." I have one iconic greatest hits on my 30.
Right. I mean, when I started this, I really didn't want to include greatest hits and or live albums, but if you feel so strongly about it, then about a particular album, then have more power to you, just as long as it's not a Beatles or Beatles related
right
album. A Beatle can be on the album. Paul McCartney can be on the album like he was for Thriller for last week, but it's not a Paul McCartney record.
Right. That's which was I had that as so, but it was not a Beatle record, so it was fine.
Right, exactly. So, all right. So 19 for you.
19 for me. Okay, we're gonna go back to about 1970, and we're gonna go with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is just an iconic record. This is actually the box set. This is the new box set that came out. This is not the vinyl.
Okay.
Which, I have the vinyl over there, but this is the LP and the CDs that came in with this. And man, what a set this was. Carry On, Teach Your Children, Almost Cut My Hair, exactly. Help Was, Woodstock, Deja Vu, Our House, 4x20.
Right.
Everything, every track on here, man. What a great record. Short-lived, as we all know, and boy, they don't like each other, boy. Let me tell you.
Not anymore.
They don't like each other one bit.
I tell you, Graham Nash and Crosby, they're backing vocals together. They're just forget about it. Those two just blend very well.
Yeah. And I know this has been on your list for a while. I know I don't because I don't think you got it when this came out.
Not yet.
You're looking for just the vinyl. You want the vinyl, though. I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was a good deal to get it. And just a great record. Graham Nash. To me, he's the crown jewel of that band. His songwriting and his vocals. Crosby's great, but to me, Nash is the heart and soul of this group.
Right. What are the tracks that he sings on that one?
On this one,
yeah.
Our House.
There's another track that he says, I don't know if it's on that one or if it's on the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
No, you mean the first record?
Yeah.
Teacher Chill. That's all of them.
Right. I'll look it up later, but great stuff on that one. Yeah, great stuff.
It's iconic album. Let's see. Hi all. Let's see. We've got a first time joining live and starting a little late. It's Jason. 9 a.m. Wednesday. Welcome, Jason.
Hey, glad to see you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And
it's 9 a.m. It's 9 a.m. Wednesday, so he must be down under.
Australia. He must be down under.
He's down under. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, Scott, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Robert S. Paperback Podcasting. Glad you guys are here. Excellent choice.
What do you got, brother, for 19?
What do you got? 19 for me. We're going to January of 77. This is the start of the so-called Berlin trilogy.
What a good pick.
Yes, this is my. I could have gone the easy route. I could have done, Ziggy. I could have done, Latin Sane, Honky Dory. But Low is just so mesmerizing to me.
The beginning of the Berlin trilogy.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Whenever I play this record, I notice it's like an epic movie. You notice things that you don't notice before. There's just so much going on in here, and this album it's really interesting. I love his vocals in here. I just love what he does, especially side A for me is one of the perfect sides. Especially
read the track listing, Tom.
Yeah, you got Speed of Life, you got Breaking Glass, What in the World, Sound and Vision, Always Crashing in the Same Car, Be My Wife, A New Career in a New Town. So those tracks, and they're straight, they're short, they're straight to the point, and good stuff. I love his vocals on here. Sound and Vision to me is one of his best songs.
That's one of his best.
Yeah. Breaking Glass, I like. What in the World's another just crazy, off the wall type of song for him. But I love that sound. I love the darkness and the weirdness of always crashing in the same car. So just great altogether. Just weird album that I think is just one of his best. I mean, obviously, I think it's his best. If I've got it,
You got it. You got it. That's it. Your only
my
Bowie
David
album.
Bowie. Yeah, exactly.
And I must say, just as a side note, since his untimely passing in 2016, his estate has handled his archives masterfully.
Exactly. They have done a great job with that, with the box sets and the reissuing of the vinyl,
everything,
and CD. And I've got a bunch of that stuff over there.
I remember seeing it there. Yeah. I mean, the every 5 years box set. I mean, there's been so much done to kind of keep the legacy of David Bowie present. And they've done a really good job, and what a great pick. I mean, somebody's Robert S said Low is great, but we can only have one. He would have went with Ziggy. That's why
that's understandable.
I went with Ziggy, obvious, but hey, that's a different period for David Bowie, and some people love it and some people don't, but it's a very cool direction, and one that I need to revisit as well, because I'm not as familiar with the Berlin period.
Heroes is good, almost as good I think as Low, and then Lodger I think falls off of the cliff just a touch, but yeah, I mean, I think it was off to a great start with Low and Heroes, and the song Heroes itself,
well, that's been covered by Peter Gabriel and done so well as a great song. So that
was my 19.
Matthew, the David Bowie comment station is his favorite. Can't go wrong with 70s Bowie other than pinups. Okay,
right. Cool. Excellent.
18 for me. We're going to go to 1970. Well, it was recorded in 76, but I don't think this came out until 78.
Really?
Which would be correct. It didn't come out till 78. And that would be one of my all-time favorites. I watch it every Thanksgiving. The Last Waltz.
Ah, very good.
Boy, this is like, you could put this on at Thanksgiving, whether it's the record or the film, have some turkey, if that's what you like, and a drink, and just, man, what a great, great concert. I mean, there's a Beatle on it, but it counts. Ringo's drums on it. Recorded at Winterland in 76. It was the band's last concert. Man, Paul Butterfield, Clapton, Diamond, Bob, Emmylou Harris, Ronnie Hawkins, Dr. John. I mean, everything is on here.
The Neils, Neil Diamond, Neil Young.
Neil Diamond singing. I mean, how great is that? Neil Diamond comes out. And
Dry
sings.
your eyes.
Right?
Yeah. Well, because Robbie produced that album, so I imagine that was probably why he did that song.
Oh, for sure. Now, do you have that on Blu-ray?
I do have it on Blu-ray.
You
Absolutely.
Do?
The Last Waltz, yeah.
Now, is that something you watch like once a year?
I don't watch it once a year, but let me tell you, I have watched it enough in the last, 20 plus years to, for a small army. I've seen it enough for. I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Do you think do you buy into that? It's too Robbie Robertson heavy and all that crap.
No, I don't really buy into that because all of them have their time to shine.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's so cool.
A lot of the stuff, Levon is, on there. I mean, a lot. Danko. I love the Danko stuff that he sings on that album. It's just, I mean, it's.
It does seem like Richard Manuel gets a little bit of a short shrift in terms of the camera time, though.
Well, but he was kind of hidden though, away from especially during the last I Shall Be Released. I mean, it's just like everybody was covering him up.
I know. But just a great. And just seeing Ringo drum. Ringo comes out. He's got the beard. He's got the jacket. He's
see Roy Wood there. I mean, no, I'm sorry, no, Ronnie Wood.
Ronnie Wood.
See, I mean, the guy's like a toothpick. You see him there. He's just like, if you were to turn him sideways, it'd be like a cardboard.
Yeah. Now Neil, to his credit, Neil was a little shocked during the making of this thing. If you see Neil, Neil was out of his mind when this was done.
Right. But the jumpsuit that Van Morrison has on is just hysterical. But his performance is one of the Van Morrison performance might be my favorite.
Van Morrison is so. Is that when he sings Tora Lora, that one?
No, he does Caravan.
Oh, right.
The performance of Caravan is probably one of my favorites on the whole thing.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese's go-to director for Martin Scorsese does well by these artists, especially, and he loves the band. So
exactly,
that's my 18, brother.
18. No, good pick. Now you had mentioned this album a minute ago, talking about Chris Christopherson, because where he was. So my 18 going back to June is 1966.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I know it. Hold it up.
Yeah. Blonde on Blonde.
Win
Blonde on Blonde
win.
is my favorite Dylan album. I mean, listen, you could go so many different ways with Dylan.
Oh,
trust me, those albums are great. But Rainy Day Woman, I Want You, Stuck Inside the Mobile, with the Memphis Blues again, Leopard Skin Pillbox Hat. Say that fast 5 times.
5 times. You can't.
You can't. Just like a woman, absolutely Sweet Marie. I mean, and on and on and on. And and the great song to close, Sad My Lady of Lowlands.
It could go on and on and on. It's 12 minutes, but you never get tired of it.
No,
you never get tired of it.
This album for me, I think it's even Sideways is great. Exactly, because you do like this. You open it up and then you bring it down, and then you get the
How to do it.
Right. Oh yeah.
Oh,
love
man.
it. Love it.
Now
Stuck Inside the Mobile with the Memphis Blues again. Listen, great 8 minutes. It doesn't even feel like it's like a great 3-hour movie that doesn't feel like a 3-hour movie.
That's the beauty of Dylan. The song could be 15 minutes and it feels like it's like 8 minutes.
Right.
Now, all right. Knock Knock says Visions of Johanna. Now, it's a great song, but the live version of Visions of Johanna that he did on tour, I think is better than the studio version. Just an acoustic guitar, no drums, no anything. But
well, Jason, you don't. But at this moment in time, Blonde on Blonde is my favorite. I mean, if we were to do this next year, it could be Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. I mean, it could be something else.
It could be Infidels, which is my current Dylan wormhole.
This album unfortunately only went to number 9. I need for this his first and only double album.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, so I just love the songs. I mean, I love the songs on those past records too. But man, I just had spent so much time, with the songs on this album. Especially I Want You and Just Like a Woman. I mean, he did the great performance there on the concert for Bangladesh. On that. Yeah, so love it. Love Blonde on One.
Now that's obviously the repress. Is that the mono, Tom, or stereo?
Yeah, that was the mono. Yeah, that was
right.
The mono.
Ooh. Now I knew that album would be in there somewhere. I did think it would be a little bit lower.
It could have been. It could have been. And Kelly, trust me. I will mention this. Kelly, the Queen is Dead almost made my list. Almost did. I really wanted that album to make it on my list, but I had just so many other albums that I had to include on this list. So Smith almost made it. Yeah.
Yes, Ollie. As the episode is titled, it's ranking our favorite albums, Non-Beatles Volume 2 of 3.
And it's going to go on for one more week. Okay, we had to just break free from the the Beatles chat.
We talk about Paul and the Beatles like. Most of the year, every show is about the Beatles. So we have to kind of let it breathe a little bit. And I think Tom and I both feel that we end up actually appreciating that stuff more by going into other genres of music. And some people just love the Beatles, and that's great. If that's what you love and that's what keeps you going, great. But Tom has such an eclectic taste of music and metal and stuff like that. And but we like lots of different kinds of music. So this was something we wanted to try to do, and hopefully most of you are all liking it. But Bob at 18. Oof.
Yes, Bob at 18. Yeah, only went to number 9, unfortunately. I mean, and then and Rainy Day Woman was what, number 2? Yeah.
Yes. That comment wins. That's the internet comment of the day. He wins, Robert S. Beatles Overload. You win. You win the internet for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. 17 for me, brother.
Paperback. I will not talk. I will not say at the moment. I'm going to tell you what. Paperback. You can highlight his comment there for a second.
Yeah.
Will we ever, guys? Yes. And I want to save that for the show when we finally pass 1,000 subscribers. That's the show.
What album?
No, ranking the Paul's albums.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I want to do that show for when we pass 1,000 subscribers. That's the show I want to do. So there you go, little surprise there.
Little
Something
cookie, little cookie,
little cookie. Yeah, exactly. Yes, so I do want us to rank the Paul albums, but after we get the 1,000 subs. So
gotcha.
there you go. Okay, so now we're moving to 17, Andy.
17 for me. Okay, we're gonna go do a little. We're gonna do a little jazz twist, jazz rock twist here. We're gonna just diverge out of the prog era. We're gonna go with 1977's Asia Steely Dan.
Okay.
Big Steely Dan fan. Love Donald Fagen, Walter Becker. Love all their albums, but Asia to me is the pinnacle of the Steely Dan output. Again, this one's a little beat up. It's my dad's copy, but the album is good in shape. Black Cow. Now, are you a Steely Dan fan or no?
I can be. I like the hits.
Okay.
I like the hits. It's really cool. I got to actually work one of their shows at the Hollywood Bowl prior to what's his name's death.
Walter Becker. Walter Becker.
Yeah. So that was really cool that I at least got to see and listen to one of their last concerts, both of them together.
And they're still going. It's still, Donald Fagen plays.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, with him still going on with the Steely Dan name, but, whatever.
It's one of those things I actually don't really mind because he is the focal point of the band, although Becker was so instrumental into the band's process. I mean, Fagen is the front man, but Black Cow, on this record, Black Cow, great song. Asia, nice 8-minute jazz thing going on there. Deacon Blues.
Great track.
Peg. Awesome.
Peg, another great track.
Peg, Home at Last. I got into Josie. Yeah. When Josie comes home. But I mean, this, all their albums are great. I almost went with Pretzel Logic as well. But Steely Dan just exudes class and professionalism as musicians. They're
true. Yeah.
They're just slick as they come.
They're perfectionists, really.
They really are. And I absolutely love this record. I've seen them live a few times, and they are just awesome. So Asia for me.
All right, 17 for me. We're going back to 1971, May of 71 to be exact. This was this artist's 11th album, and we're going back to my roots, going back to Michigan, Detroit, and that's the "What's Going On" album. From Marvin Gaye. Surprisingly, this only went to number 6 on the charts, and This is another one of those albums that just every song is just great. I love Marvin Gaye's vocals are tremendous, but again you feel the passion in every song that he sings on this album. Obviously, Motown didn't want their artists to talk about social issues or whatever, but Marvin Gaye really fought to do this record. He did it on his terms. He produced it. And it's just really unbelievable. Even the songs, the two hits are great. What's Going On and what's the other one? Mercy, Mercy Me. But all the other songs in there that are sprinkled in there as well are equally as good. What's Happening, Brother is a fantastic song. Save the Children is just tremendous. Right On, Inner City. So this is just it's a near perfect record for Marvin Gaye. It's just another like him, Stevie Wonder. Curtis Mayfield, they were stepping up in a time and singing about the songs that record companies didn't want them to sing about, and it looks like we just lost Andy. So we're going to have to wait a second. And so this was my number 17, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Yeah, Tony, that's the thing is we really like different genres of music as well. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this list for us, and then to see, all the different genres that other people out there like as well. So now we just have to wait for Funkadelic is great. So let me just see where Andy's at. Obviously he'll be back. Okay, so good old technology, we lose people, unfortunately. And anybody got questions while we're oh, you gotta love technology, don't you? Serge, which one was way too low? Marvin Gaye? Because if that's true, yeah. Yeah, Motor City. Yeah, Motor City. I cannot forget my Motor City roots. And there comes my partner. There we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, you were dropped.
Yeah, what else is new?
Yeah.
Like a bad habit. But you were talking about what's going on. Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye lyrics are fantastic. Yeah, I mean it could have been lower. It could have been in the top 10, obviously. But
I know that you like him, and I thought that would have been a little higher.
Yeah. But I mean that's my favorite thing that he's done. He's got other great albums. But
that's the gold standard.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. 71 on that, Tom.
Yeah, May of 71.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, he produced a record, and that was his 11th record at that time. So
wow,
they were turning out. Yeah, very good, Serge. What's going on, Tom?
What's going on, Tom?
Yeah.
Tony, you'll just have to wait and see.
Yes, that is correct. You'll have to wait and see. It could be next week.
Could be next week. It could be the next album. You just don't know.
All right, so 16, Andy.
16 for me. Okay, I'm gonna go with an album I only probably just discovered 3 months ago, but it is in my middle tier.
Wow.
I've only just discovered. That's telling you, and I
love when a record does that. I love it. I love when you just discover a record and it just automatically is classic.
And have you had that happen to you many times?
Absolutely.
So I'm not like weirdo for having that.
Right.
I feel like
no. That Curtis Mayfield album that I had last week.
Yes.
I discovered that earlier this year, and love it.
You did. So
yeah.
I'm like. Am I jumping the gun by doing this? But all right, so I'm not like the only one who finds the record and it moves you so much that it becomes one of your favorites.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. And let's see. And for me, that group and that album is called Exotic Birds and Fruit, and it's by Procol Harum, 1974.
Oh yeah, you've been on a big Procol Harum kick lately.
Oh my God! I mean, I thought it would have been the Grand Hotel, which is great, but I've been playing it. I bought this copy out in Phoenix when I was with Tom, promotional copy. At one of our stores, produced by Chris Thomas of the Beatles fame. The band, Robin Trower, the guitarist, was already gone by then, and he became like really prolific solo career guy on his own. And they became much more piano-based band rocker with Gary Brooker. And again, they were kind of really past their prime by this point in terms of hits. But every song on here is freaking phenomenal. I mean, Nothing But the Truth, Beyond the Pale, A Strong of Samson, The Idol, Butterfly Boys, New Lamps for Old. If you like melodic piano rock music, then Procol Harum is your thing. And man, I have worn this record out digitally and on vinyl since June when I heard it. And it is freaking incredible. I mean, I bought the Cherry Red reissue, which they did, but I absolutely am just gaga for them right now, and that is why they're in there for me.
So you listen to their 60s stuff as well, right?
Yeah, their 60s stuff.
So how does do they kind of like are a little different from the 60s to the 70s?
Yes, little less heavier, like prog, a little less proggier.
Okay.
Like they were much more psychedelic proggier in the 60s, Whiter Shade of Pale, Conquistador, Hamburg, and of course their 1968 classic Shine On Brightly, which has a sidelong track on there called And Held 'Twas an I, which very proggy like early prog. By this point they had gone much more pop piano based, kind of almost like Gilbert O'Sullivan type pop, but really, really nice big lush productions and stuff. And if you like that kind of Abbey Road type production of quality, Chris Thomas, that's who's
Chris Thomas, there you go.
Yeah. Tom Panico, as you were, forthwith. The Liverpool legend lives on. Rock on, two legs. Okay.
All right.
That's our friend. That's our Kiss friend. That's him.
I love it. Thanks for being here, Tom. All right, 16 for me. We're going to November of 68, and we're talking about the Kinks.
Oh, good record.
The Village Green Preservation
Society. Win.
Yes. This is definitely my favorite Kinks record. Other great ones as well. I love Arthur and all the other ones. There's just so many great. I'm a big fan of the Lola. The Lola.
You love the Lola record. We were talking about that on Phoenix.
Yeah. I just think it's a great rocking record. But for my money, the Village Green is is by far, my favorite of theirs. You're looking at, the Village Green Preservation Society. Do you remember Walter? I love, Animal Farms. Starstruck is one of my favorite Kinks records. I love that one. Picture Book, is another one too. I love, it's great stuff. This was before, I think, well, I mean, they've always had kind of turmoil. Yes, I know, Matthew, and I knew you were going to say that.
Matthew was fired up. He's fired up he wanted that album lower, damn it.
Yes, exactly. And it's pretty damn well should be as well. But, that's just the thing. There's just so many great records out there. And Robert S., thank you. He agrees. But just so many things. I think this is one of his best albums lyrically, Ray. And then, his production. And I know there was always kind of a lot of, clash between the two brothers.
Always.
And then, I know this, same with this album. Who left on this? Was it the drummer or the bass player that left after this? I think it was the correct me if I'm wrong, Matthew Smith. Was it the drummer that left after this record? Because just all turmoil and clash between the two brothers. But this is by far out, and the thing is this didn't chart in the US, which was just a damn shame. Didn't do anything. So this was the 6th album by the Kinks as well, produced by Ray. Yeah, at the time. So just a well-crafted record.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Super was a record, yeah. Yeah.
The bass player.
Thank you. Yeah,
it was the bass player. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that was
just a fantastic record. 16. Yeah.
16, and listen, you really can't go wrong with a Kinks record, especially that golden era. Lola,
right?
Arthur. Yeah. It's fantastic.
It was a Face to Face or something like that. There's just so much music. Yeah, Face to Face is another one that I like as well.
The Kinks, they did not make my top 30. They just missed it. I would have put them in if I was thinking about throwing Everybody's in Showbiz in there. Right. The one from 72. That's my favorite Kinks record. Everybody's in Showbiz. Really? I love that one the best. Celluloid Heroes. Oh, that's tremendous. All right, 15, right for me now?
Yeah, 15.
All right.
Let's hit it.
All right, we're going to go with the Prague Motherlode, the very first Prague album that really kind of just changed the whole genre. 1969, the album that really put the genre on the map. And you probably know where I'm going, but it's going with King Crimson. Wow. In the court of the Crimson King, King Crimson's first album, debut album, 1969. Freaking incredible. Greg Lake was still with the band before ELP is on this record. Robert Fripp. But whoa, man, this is the you want to start at this is where it all starts. I mean, I talked to the Wind, Epitaph, in the court of the Crimson King. Incredible record. Have you heard this, Tom?
No, still one record that has I have not actually sat down and listened to yet.
This is heavy enough. This is heavy enough. I think you would dig this. I really do. I think you would dig this record.
I do plan on eventually listening to it.
Of course, I forget the opener, 21st Century Schizoid Man. I mean, it's crazy stuff. Everything on here. Moonchild. I mean, this. Oh, Jason's got a nice pick in there too. But man, let's see, Tom Brennan. That just missed it. It's Greg Lake was on the first 2 albums for Crimson. Then he left to start ELP with Keith Emerson and Carl Palmer. But this album really kind of gets this is the one that a lot of the journalists and the people say, like, this is really what kind of got this album off going on the genre going in the late 60s, early 70s. So,
and that was what, 69 or 68? What
1969.
Okay. Well, hello, Psycho. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Okay, so that was your 15, and was King Crimson there. Yeah, and that's the Trick of the Tail. I can't go wrong with that one either.
Ooh. Yeah. Let's see. Well, Tony, my son
go ahead.
Yeah. Tony says my son saw the last word. Yeah, Crimson was just touring in the area around here with Robert Fripp. Yeah,
Fripp still touring with him. That's great.
And the bassist Tony Levin, who was the bassist. The Beatle Connection was the bassist on Double Fantasy. See,
there you go.
So all roads lead back, baby.
Back to the Beatles.
All roads always lead back to the Beatles, whether it's prog, jazz, whatever, soul.
Yes. All right. My number 15. We're going to March of '72, and this is in that progressive soul category, like we talked about with that Curtis record.
Curtis album, yeah.
Yes, and this album is considered the first of this artist's classic period. This is his 14th album by this time, if you can believe that. And that's Stevie Wonder's "Music of My Mind." Just another fantastic, R&B soul record that again just deals with other social, a lot of social commentary at that time. Right at that time, but it's not all that. I mean, there's just a lot of great poppy, experimental, stuff on here from Stevie. His vocals. This was almost a one-man band. Again, he almost did everything. There's only like 3 or 4 other musicians that participated on this record, so it's pretty much almost all Stevie in a way. And man, what an incredible record. Side A for me is one of the best A sides again in anybody's catalog. Love Having You Around, Superwoman, which was the single for the album, the first single, I should say. I Love Everything About You, Sweet Little Girl. So I love Every Little Thing About You. Great song. So side A for me is just was an amazing side. This is my favorite Stevie record. I know there's a lot of great other Stevie records after this.
Intervision, Songs in a Key of Life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The songs almost was mine too. I mean, I actually got to see Stevie perform that whole record.
Oh wow! When was that?
4 or 5. That was, oh God, was it 16? Was it that he was doing that album? The whole thing, maybe 2016.
Which might have been it because it came out. Maybe it was the anniversary, 30 years.
Right. Yeah, it could have been. Yeah. Or 2015. I Intervisions. Yeah, and that's a great one too as well. But for me, the songs on side A are just so strong. It just makes my list on this one. So, but Superwoman, the 8-minute track on that one is just a perfect song from Stevie Wonder. Kind of like 2 songs in one. Mary Wants to Be a Superwoman, just when it goes into where were you when I needed you most, so great 8-minute song that again moves so flows so flawlessly that it doesn't feel like an 8-minute track.
That's the best. So, when music doesn't even feel like it. See, you could put a time on it. That's when you've hit upon a great record. When it's you're not worried about the length of the time of the song.
No,
whether that's 8 minutes, 2 minutes, or
Correct.
25 minutes. Whether that's the beauty of music.
Right. Yep.
All right. 14 for me. Okay, 14 for me. This might be a little more on the popular side, and but for me, it's an artist who's near and dear to me. I've seen him in concert probably 10 times already now, and for me, 1976, Billy Joel, Turnstiles, baby.
Wow.
Turnstiles by Billy Joel from '76.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you had any Billy in your top 30. You probably didn't, right?
Maybe we'll see.
We'll see. Absolutely love Turnstiles. This is right before Billy really shot into the stratosphere, before The Stranger, which was the next album after this, which was, of course, the album that just made him, a household name. But he was still kind of coming to his own here. Say Goodbye to Hollywood, classic.
Oh, yeah.
Summer Highland Falls, New York State of Mind, Angry Young Man, I Love These Days, Miami 2017, James. I mean, there's just a great. Every song on this album is great.
They just announced that they're reissuing his first 6 albums in a box set.
They are. Yeah, I did see something about the 50-year career. Underrated Billy Joel gem there. Tom Brennan had it in his 10. Yeah, absolutely love Turnstiles. It's got the whole New York feel to it. Angry Young Man, just classic. I mean, it opens up his concerts with that. This is Billy Joel really before he became the big name, and absolutely love this record. And I've seen him do all these songs in concert over the years. Just a tremendous live performer, even today still. Now, I know he hasn't done any new music in 30 years plus, but that's his choice. And man, he's great.
Oh, hold on, Robert S. I am considering the whole albums as well. It's just that I love that A side of Music on My Mind. Just is probably my favorite one side of any Stevie Wonder album out there. But I like side 2 just as much. It's great. But yeah, I'm considering the whole albums as well. Yeah, that's great. I mean, you can't go wrong with. I mean, just I know there's some people out there that don't like. They're not big fans of Billy Joel's for whatever reason. But
yeah, listen, it's all subjective. And growing up in the area that I did here on the East Coast, New York City metropolitan area, Billy Joel's been a constant here. So I mean, especially touring. His touring has been great. I got to see him on New Year's Eve at the Barclays Center one year, and he's just a great entertainer. He just is.
No, he is, and that's why. What number are we on?
15. I think 15, 14 maybe.
14, yeah, and that's why he's my 14 at The Stranger.
Oh, holy crap! What are the chances? Wow.
Listen,
and we didn't talk, folks. We don't know our list.
No. September 77, produced by Phil Ramone, the 5th album by Billy Joel. And for me, this is his most, I think from top to bottom, the quality of the songs are just top notch for any Billy Joel record. And he's had quite a few. I'm a big fan of The Innocent Man. I think that's a great record.
Leave a tender moment alone.
Exactly. Yeah. But The Stranger, it's for me, it's where everything just the planets align, just everything just
Vienna.
Works.
Everything
Vienna. Forget about Vienna. Is probably my favorite Billy Joel song on there. Scenes from Italian Restaurant. It's just she's always a woman. It's got so many hits on this one too. But Just the Way You Are. But The Stranger, the self-title song, again, I love how the opening whistling and the closing whistling, just
and then it just starts rocking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tremendous.
Yeah, Everyone Has a Dream, I think, is a great closer. Just love the album artwork, because we all have a face.
Right.
We all hide away forever. Exactly. And Vienna
waits for Tom Agnotti.
Yeah, and I've cooked for Billy Joel. I think I did the 4 of his 4 shows in 1 year while he was touring out on the West Coast.
Yep.
So I did San Antonio, Vegas, Phoenix, and then at Dodger Stadium. And those were some of the longest days I've ever worked. Some stressful days.
You were telling me about that when I was out there, about the load in and the crew and all that other stuff.
Forget it. When you're going to another state, I told you that the 5 days that we were there, 2 of those 5 days I worked over 20 hours. 20 hours.
Just for Billy Joel. That's why you were like,
Billy Joel. Yeah.
Which is like you like his music, but like his show is a pain in the ass.
The pain in the ass. It's just like when I worked at that fourth show here in Phoenix a couple years back, it was like I never want to listen to another Billy Joel
Things are okay with these days. I gotta get the hell out of here. I'm going out of my mind. You don't want to hear. You don't want to hear Bottle Red. You don't want to hear nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly. So it was. It was. Listen, those great, good experiences. Got to see some of the shows and stuff, but man, just some really long days.
Kudos to you, brother. But so cool that our Billy Joel picks were back to back. See, I love that. That's great.
It's fun when something like that happens.
It does.
We're at 13 now.
13 for me. Okay, now this one that is going to seem like a little bit oddball choice because I don't really publicize that I'm a huge fan of this guy, but I really am. And this one strikes near and dear to my heart because it's a family favorite, and that would be Harry Chapin's Greatest Stories Live.
Okay.
Harry Chapin, those of you who don't know, New York folk singer-songwriter, really kind of never really amounted to a big commercial success. Had a real big hit with Cats in the Cradle, Want a Little Love Song, and Taxi. Those were his 3 big ones. But man, this guy he knew how to write songs and music and story songs. And
great songwriter, yeah.
Great songwriter. And it's a live album, so it's kind of like that category, does it count or not? But the man in concert, and he died right after I was born, but the guy was just a born entertainer, and he put his money where his mouth was. He played most of his concerts for charity. He lived, a very, very humble lifestyle. And it's just rewarding to listen to his music because it comes from the heart with everything that he's ever done. He had a minor hit with a song called WOLD on the radio, but this live album here is, this is the gold standard for Harry Chapin music. If you've never listened to Harry Chapin, it's he does a song called 30,000 Pounds of Bananas, which is a song about actually a guy who was actually killed by a banana truck. And it's like it's like a 10-minute song. It's just incredible. And
what year was that?
This album came out in 1976.
Okay.
It came out in 1976, and it was probably one of his best sellers because it had all of his. So it was his greatest. It was like a greatest hits, but in a live form. So it was a new album, but it was all his live stuff. And it's a better place to be, Mr. Tanner. Time Goes Lightly. I mean, everything's on here. It's more of a record that's been in my family's collection. We used to play it around the holidays and stuff like that. So I have a lot of fond memories of this music and Harry, and that's why it's on the upper levels of my middle ranking there.
Excellent. All right, 13 for me. We were just talking about this individual a few minutes ago when we were bringing up the Last Waltz. We're going to January.
Neil Diamond, right?
No. We're going January of 1970.
Okay.
This gentleman's third album, and it's Moondance.
Boy.
Van Morrison. This album is just killer from top to bottom. Again, a killer record from top to bottom. You've got the classics, Stone Me, Moondance, Caravan, Into the Mystic. The sides on side 2 are not too shabby as well. I mean, Come Running, These Dreams of You, Brand New Day, Everyone, Glad Tidings, which is a great album closer. But side 1 again is just a magical side. Moondance is awesome. Yeah, exactly. His vocals are strong. I didn't realize until I saw him live that he plays saxophone. Because we did one of his shows at the Hollywood Bowl as well. And got to hear him do a couple tracks, so he's just an amazing vocalist, and his album after this one I think is brilliant as well. But Moondance
is
the I think the gold standard for me when it comes to Van Morrison. When you got songs like Stone Me, Moondance, Caravan, and Into the Mystic on one album.
On one album? Come on.
One album. Forget about it, So, but yeah, I go with a 1970s Moondance for my number 13.
Nice pick, partner. And you can't go wrong with Little Van. Very nice pick.
No. Van the Man is all right by me.
All right, number 12 for me. We're going to 1969, a group that we've been heard. Are they going to make an appearance in any of your guys' list? And so far, they have not on Tom or mine. But here is the first appearance of this group. And this is my absolutely favorite album by Led Zeppelin, baby. 2. He's got it. I guarantee he has it next.
You might have to wait.
He definitely does. Led Zeppelin 2, baby. This is the one, man. This is the one. This just has balls to the walls, kicks ass from start to finish. Whole lot of love. What is and what should never be. Lemon Song. Thank you.
Lemon Song for me is where it's at. Yeah. The big debate whether you go 2 or 4, you'll see next week for me.
Okay. All right. For me, it's 2, babe. It is 2. Right. I mean, now I think my personal favorite on this album is Ramble On, though. Ramble On is so great. With lyrical observations slanted towards the Lord of the Rings. Right. Obviously, if you're a Tolkien fan, you know that Page was. So there's a lot of references to Gollum and the Lord of the Rings in that song, which I am a huge fan of that trilogy as well. So it all ties in. Right. And of course, Moby Dick and Bring It On Home to just jam out at the end. But man, Led Zeppelin 2 for me is just that is their placement in my ranking. And all right, so we're gonna have to see where Mr. Hunyadi falls. But somebody prefers 1. Okay, I prefer 1. Okay, Tom Brennan has it. They're in his top. The 2 is in his top 10. Okay,
right. Yeah. See, it's almost like the Star Trek thing where everybody loves like the even number movies.
2, 4, 6.
2, 4 physical graffiti.
Right.
So, I mean, and the odd numbers are great too. it just seems like it's either 2, 4 physical graffiti that get all the attention, in the Zeppelin universe, and
Right.
rightfully so. I mean, those are some great,
Presence gets ignored a little bit,
yeah, right, yeah, yep, and maybe Houses of the Holy gets ignored a little bit, but
that's still a great record too.
Oh, absolutely.
Tony, I'm up there with you, man. That album, well, you have to stay tuned, but that's a tremendous record too. Bob will be making an appearance next week for me.
All right. All right, 12 for me. Now, picture, if you will, 1988, 89. I'm still just huge Beatle freak. Beatles are, I'm venturing out a little bit, starting to venture out a little bit. At the time I had a stepsister and she brought this album to me and I kind of like scolded on her and like, why would you have this? This is garbage music. And however, little did I know that this was almost going to be the start of my phase, my love for heavy metal. And it's Metallica's "And Justice for All" from 1988. People know this as the album that has the song "One" on it. That was their first, music video, but double album. But for me, my second favorite heavy metal of all time is Metallica's "And Justice for All." I just think it just, the songs, the song structure, the lyrics on this one are just, I think for me are fantastic, and it just doesn't deal deals with other, social commentary, a little bit of that, and it just all different kinds of lyrics here. It's just not your basic,
your typical
death, death, everyone die, exactly.
Which, it gets that stereotype. It does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does. Just like rap gets accused, stereotype for smacking women around and bitches and hoes and all that stuff.
Right.
But for me, I mean, this almost made it to my favorite heavy metal of all time. But there's the Godfathers of heavy metal are going to beat that next week.
I know what that is.
No, you don't.
No? Oh, okay.
No. But anyways, yeah. But I'm glad, obviously this is they reissued it a couple years ago, remastered it. Their big story to this was they had a new bass player, Jason Newsted, after the original bassist died 2 years prior, I think, during a tour in Europe. They got into a bus accident and then he died in that accident. But in comes a new bass player. He's playing his heart out. The album comes out, and he finds out that they wiped all of his bass playing in the album. So it was kind of like a poor initiation for this guy for the album. But anyways, other than that, I mean, I think the playing on here, the guitar playing, Kurt does some amazing solos. Ehrlich does some great drumming on here. And I think it's a fantastic record. So for me, number 12 is "And Justice for All." My second favorite Metallica metal album. Yeah.
Cliff Burton was the bass player that died. Knock.
Exactly. Okay. Yep, absolutely. I got to see them live a couple times. I saw them in '92 with Guns N' Roses. That was probably one of the loudest concerts I ever seen in my life. But man, what a day that was! Oh, Faith No More opened, then it went to Metallica, and then it went to Guns N' Roses, and that's both when both bands were still in their heyday. And
sure, and especially back then, yeah, sure.
Oh man, what a show that was! Yep. Anyways, here we go, number 11.
Last one for me for the night. Yeah. We're going back to a little psychedelia, late 60s for me. And I know if Ethan was watching, he'd support this. He actually probably would want it higher. So sorry about that. But I'm going to go with the Zombies Odyssey and Oracle from 1968. Now, this is came to this one late. This is like the one of the forgotten classics, late 60s albums by the Zombies. Of course, the big hit on here was "Time of the Season." That was their big hit of this record. The last album they made, they actually broke up, and then the album came out. And I got to meet Rod Argent and Colin Blunstone of the Zombies about 5 years ago when their new album came out at a meet and greet, and got to meet them and told them how great this album was. It's really a lost 60s gem. Is this one colored vinyl? I think it is colored vinyl, which I know Tom likes.
Yeah. That's great.
Some
awesome.
really great, very great Baroque pop on here. Lots of great stuff on it. Carousel of 44, A Rose for Emily. In that kind of Beach Boys, Brian Wilson, 66, 67 mode of music, really. Maybe after he's gone, Beechwood Park. Really psychedelia through and through. Brief Candles, Hung Up on a Dream, Changes. This Will Be Our Year, The Butcher's Tale, Friends of Mine. It's just it's a great record. It's a nice 60s record, and it's really been revered by everybody kind of in the music world as a great kind of lost artifact of late 60s psychedelic music. And that's what this is.
I need to listen to it. I need to listen to that record. I haven't listened to it, right? So
it's I was late. I only figured it out. I only discovered the album 5 years ago, and I haven't known it in a long time. It's a great record. I think you'd like it. It checks all those boxes of Pepper and Magical Mystery Tour and Smile and all that. It's all of that same ilk. I've seen them perform a lot of it before. So Odyssey and Oracle for me by the Zombies at number 11, and A Rose for Emily is probably one of the best songs on here for sure.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Good pick. 11 for me. This should have been in the top 10. I don't know why it's not in the top 10, but it's here at 11. Going back to September 1970, went to number 4 on the charts. Surprisingly, because I think after this, I think it was with their 4th record, or 5th record, they started going to number 1. They had a nice streak of number 1 records, and that is Chicago 2.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah. I mean, I love this. Listen, I love Transit Authority. I love 5. I love 7.
You like 8?
I like 8.
Harry Truman. America loves you, Harry Truman.
Listen, it's got some stuff on there for sure. But Chicago 2, I mean, just about everything here on this record is top notch. Including the first side, I love, Moving In, The Road, which is great, dealing with touring and having one night stands and whatnot. In the country, Terry Kath has some of his best vocal performances on this record. Satara shines. Terry Kath has probably his most known solo of all time with 25 or 624 on this record. Side 2 opens with a great little number called Wake Up Sunshine, and then it goes into the famous ballet for Buchanan. I never can pronounce that the word. Make Me Smile and Color My World are in that suite. Sides 3 and 4 aren't that bad either. I mean, obviously, like I said, the whole movement, It Better End Soon. And then I love the closer. Where do we go from here? I think Pete really shines on that track as well. So many great songs on this album. I really recommend side A and side A and B. The second disc is great as well. But actually, they performed this whole album here. I want to say 3 years ago, right before I left the Buck Cannon. Thank you, CJ. Right before I left the catering job, that first time, we did the show, and I really wanted to go, but Walter, I think, had left the band because of health reasons. So the original members were really starting to wind down. And I think Jason Sheff had left, Bill Chamberlain had left. So you're seeing a bunch of new people. So I didn't go, but then I found out they did this whole album live, and my jaw dropped, and I was like, oh, damn it. Yeah, Danny Serafin is just an excellent drummer who's still drumming, is still doing some marvelous drumming now at his age, and then I think he's written the only biography in the band so far. He's got the only self-biography. I don't think any of the other members have written a biography. but yeah, but two, I mean, obviously there are just so many great Chicago records. But this one for me, I mean, between Lamb, Kath, and Cetera, this, I mean, all everything just gels together perfectly for this record. And just love the cover,
I love the cover. All their covers were just classic. Well,
yeah.
Sneak peek. You'll hear
Right.
Chicago next week. They're going to be in my top 10.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Like I said, I mean, I should have had this in the top 10, but I'm looking at my 10 today, and I'm going, why can't I put this in there?
You're doing the flip flop. You're flip flopping.
I'm trying to do the flip flop, but I'm just like, at this point in time in my life, all those the 10 for next week are just I think are flawless records.
The 10, I'm sure, are those are records that have defined our lives, I'm sure. So
yeah, CJ, if you're in Arizona, that's great. I mean, obviously you probably know that I'm here in Arizona too. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, there's only 3 original members left: Robert Lamb, Panko, and Lee. Lee was actually the one working here in Arizona on the new Carnegie Hall
the box set,
the big box set that does all 8 shows. I think
all the shows from Carnegie Hall,
all the shows. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And just hearing the snippets sounds fantastic. Yeah. Just sounds fantastic.
I mean, I mean, I know it's the other album. I mean, Question 67 and 68. How do you do better than that?
You don't. That first album is brilliant, but I just think the songs are just. I think there's more great songs on 2. Because you got a few moments, on the first record that really don't have anything. Freeform guitar, as much as I love it, it's not. It's just Terry Cash showing off.
Right.
A guitar is as great as it is, and then there's just a few other little tidbits on the second disc that I don't really care for. But 2, I think, is just a knockout of a record. But yeah, but
great
the solo,
pick, man.
Yeah,
great pick.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So that was that's this week. We got one more week to go.
We'll let you know when we're going to do it. It might looking like it'd be next Tuesday or Wednesday, but Tom will let you know when that'll be for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking like it's probably going to be next Wednesday as of right now. That's the 15th, and Andy.
15th. Right? Yep.
Right. Okay. So 15th we'll have picks 10
to 1 for the big finish. The big finish. Yeah, those are all these records. Listen, Tom and I, we love all these records, but you just got to rank them where you rank them, Yeah. But I think the ones, Tom's 10 and my 10 will be ones that just mean more to us, and that's
exactly. We'll
see how many people out there have similar choices. I'm sure we surprised a few people tonight with our choices, and I know somebody said that, I think it was Kelly, said she'd check out the Procol Harum album. Check it out. If you see stuff on here that Tom suggested or I did, check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do. So, okay. So, Andy, great hanging out with you again. I'll see you next week for this. Everybody that joined us, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. We love hanging out with you guys. We love seeing your picks. I've had a few people suggest some albums to me last week, and hopefully I'll get some more suggestions this week. I'm writing them all down, and I'm going to start checking those albums out soon. And
thank you, Tony.
Personal.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you for being here. So hopefully we'll see you all next week. And as always, everybody out there, have a great day and a beautiful night. Take care.
Thank you.